Best gaming laptops. Here are the best gaming laptops you can buy right now, and in this video, we will be taking a look at their specs, pricing, performance, and more. And as always, all the products mentioned in this list will be in the description below. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more videos like this that will help you make better buying decisions. You can also sign up for our email list to receive the best tech deals from over 200 retailers weekly. Now, let's go to the list. Number 1, MSI GS65 Stealth. The best option right now is the MSI GS65 Stealth at 15.6 inches in size, or alternatively, the GS75 Stealth if you'd rather go with the 17-inch variant. We've tested most of the slim and light offerings of this new RTX generation, and MSI's Stealth line is simply the best for a few reasons. It can deliver the full performance of the components inside without throttling. It does so at respectable fan noise levels, and it's also the lightest of the main portable gaming options. The Alienware M15, for example, is noticeably heavier and larger while also having cooler problems. The Gigabyte Aero 15 X9 is a decent offering, but its loud, cooler, and inferior design sees it fall behind the MSI option. And the Asus Zephyrus, while good in a number of areas, has an awkward design with its side position trackpad. The MSI GS65 Stealth packs decent hardware, headlined by a 1080p 144Hz display, Intel Core i7-8750H CPU, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. The default 256GB SSD option is a tad on the small side, but it can be upgraded relatively easily, while battery life is pretty good. There are a number of GS65 and GS75 variants out there, including older Pascal GTX models and newer Touring RTX models. The best option right now is the RTX 2060 model. It's normally priced at $2,100, but can occasionally be found closer to $1,900, making it around the same price as the older GTX 1070 Max-Q variant. The RTX 2060 is about 8% faster on average than the GTX 1070 Max-Q, making it the better value choice. The higher tier options with the RTX 2070 Max-Q and RTX 2080 Max-Q are priced at $2,400 and $2,800 respectively, but performance gains of 15% or less really aren't enough to justify the price hike. Of course, if you want more power, these models are available, but today the RTX 2060 is the sweet spot. Number 2, ACER Predator Helios 300. This laptop is still priced at around $1,000 for the GTX 1060 6GB model, making it still the best value gaming laptop on the market. So let's go through why this remains the case. If you want something with a GTX 1060 6GB inside, around $1,000 is about as low as it gets. But ACER hasn't compromised much to hit that price point. You're still getting a full Core i7-8750H processor, unlike a quad-core Core i5 model in some of the other budget offerings. You're still getting a 1080p 144Hz display with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. What you're not getting with the Helios 300 compared to the more expensive models is mostly in the design. This isn't a massive system, but it's not overly slim. There's no crazy RGB keyboard effects and no slim bezels, and the battery life is nothing special. But ACER has made those sacrifices to deck this system out with the best hardware, and that's why it remains the best entry-level gaming option. There are some other models that do get pretty close. The Asus TUF FX504 is one such example. It's not quite as good as the ACER and about $100 more expensive right now. But if you're checking prices in the future and the FX504 ends up in a good spot, it's one we'd consider. For those after a 17-inch model, the ACER Aspire 17 is one to check out. However, there is one direction we wouldn't go in, and that's to buy anything below a GTX 1060 6GB. This GPU is a sweet spot to get the most gaming performance. If you opt for something like the GTX 1050 Ti, you might end up saving $250 or so, but the 1060 is easily more than 50% faster. And as you go lower in price, laptop makers tend to strip back features like storage, RAM, and a CPU. So overall, you end up with a lower quality product. Save up and drop $1,000 on the HELIOS 300, and you'll be much happier with your purchase in long term. Number 3, Asus ROG STRIX SCARII GL504GS. GTX 1070 laptops at $1,500 are cheaper than RTX 2060 laptops that start around $1,700 for similar configurations. However, the GTX 1070 is actually faster, sometimes upward of 10%. So rather than complaining, we can use that to our advantage. The RTX 2070 for laptops does pull about 15% ahead of the GTX 1070, but typically costs between 20 and 30% more. With all this considered, right now the GTX 1070 offers the best value for upper mid-range laptop gamers. And the one laptop that stands out for us is the Asus ROG STRIX SCARII GL504GS. A bit of a mouthful, but you're getting a really excellent laptop at $1,500 right now. Slim bezels around the 15.6-inch 1080p 144Hz display, a full non-Max-Q GTX 1070, and a 512GB SSD, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and of course, the Core i7-8750H. The chassis is your standard mid-tier body, but I think it's really appropriate for this sort of machine, and its cooler allows the GTX 1070 to run at its expected performance level. When we reviewed this laptop, it was more expensive, which was a major sticking point, but it's come down significantly since then to become a great value option. Those that want the next step up in performance will probably have to go for the RTX 2070 models at around $1,800 to $2,000, which isn't outrageous as these systems are faster, but the GTX 1070 does a lot for less, offering a similar price to performance ratio as GTX 1060 laptops. Number 4, Asus ROG G705GX. This is a big and heavy 17-inch laptop. It's 51 millimeters thick and 10 pounds heavy, but it packs an RTX 2080 GPU for laptops inside, and thanks to the enormous cooler, throttling isn't a big deal. Aside from that, you're looking at a Core i7-8750H, 17.3-inch 1080p, 144Hz display, 512GB SSD, and 1 terabyte SSHD, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. At $3,000, this is probably the best value option of the RTX 2080 systems, with good enough cooling to actually unleash that GPU. You could go even bigger and faster than this, but evidently it will cost you. Adding the Core i9-8950HK to the mix, a slightly faster although unlocked version of the 8750H, will cost you a staggering $800 extra. And then you can go up to stuff like desktop CPUs and multi-GPU configurations, which aren't really worth the exorbitant price you'll be paying. If you have $5,000 to spend or more, a better option would be grabbing something like the MSI GS65 to use on the go for around $2,000, while dropping $3,000 on a decked-out gaming PC to use at your desk. That would be more than enough cash to get a decent RTX 2080 Ti gaming rig, which would be faster than anything currently available in a laptop form factor. So the Asus ROG G703GX is really the top end of what we think is reasonable for a gaming laptop. Number 5, Microsoft Surface Book 2. It might surprise you how few gaming-capable systems there are with the 13-inch displays. At one point, this was sort of an emerging category, but that quickly evaporated in favor of the 15-inch portable gaming laptops. What we've been left with are plenty of systems with no discrete GPU, and a growing number with NVIDIA's okay, but not amazing MX150 and MX250 GPU offerings. The MX150 is good for games that aren't too GPU demanding like Overwatch, Fortnite, and CSGO. But what if you want something with a bit more oomph? There's only one option, Microsoft's Surface Book 2 13.5-inch. As far as we can tell, this is the only laptop on the market of this size to pack a proper GTX 1050 in its chassis. The GTX 1050 remains an entry-level discrete GPU, but it's easily more than 50% faster than an MX150, which opens up more gaming options at medium and low settings. The privilege of having GTX 1050 in a premium-built 13-inch system comes at a price. Kitting out a Surface Book 2 with the required hardware to get this GPU will set you back $1,750, but you'll probably want more than 8 gigabytes of storage and a 256 gigabyte SSD, in which case you're looking at $2,000 for 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes SSD. That's more than most portable 15-inch gaming laptops for less performance. With that said, the Surface Book 2 does have a lot of advantages, like the detachable tablet section, full stylus support, and a high-quality 3000 by 2000 display, which you don't get with most true gaming laptops. So, it's just a balance of what you might want and how much gaming should factor into your buying decision. That's it for this video. For more information, check out the description. If you liked the video, please smash the like button. If you have a question or contributions, drop it in the comments below. Also, subscribe to this channel for more information like this that will help you make better buying decisions. Enjoy the rest of your day.